What's good, guys? Welcome back to another missing person case Monday. So today we're going to be discussing Asha Degree. Asha Degree is a 9-year-old from the Shelby, North Carolina area, and she went missing February 14th of 2000. So her story has been around a long time. Of course, I have never heard her story before. She was actually born the same year as me in 1990, but she was about 4 months older than me. So that is like mind-blowing to know that you have found someone who is the same age as you, you know? Like, she would be going on 29 this year, and she has been missing for almost, what, 19 years, right? 19 plus years. Asha is a Black female. She has black hair, brown eyes, and on the night of her disappearance, she had ponytails in her hair. I will also post the upgraded photo FBI has done for her since she has been missing for over 19 plus years. Asha is described as a quiet, shy, but fun-loving little girl. She loved baseball, and she just loved to have fun. Her story begins on February 13th, the day before she actually went missing. She was spending time with her family. There was reports, you know, she went to church with her family. And then that night, her father went to work. And when he got back from work around 12:30 a.m., February 14th, he went to go check in on them. You know, typical things that you do when you're going to bed or when you're doing something, you go in and check on your kids. I know I do that with my babies. So he's seen both of his children in their beds. Then around 2:30 a.m., he went back to check in on his kids. He probably assumed he probably gotten up, and he went to go check up on them. If you hear any noise, my dog is down here making tons of noise, but I didn't want to keep him in the living room because he likes to bark when he hears things. So yeah, apologize in advance, guys. So he went to check on them around 2:30. They were both still in their bed. Then as it got close to around 4:30 in the morning, he said he heard a creak. You know, like beds make noise, or like you hear, you know, like my bed is really loud. I can hear when like my husband's getting out the bed, or my floor is wooden, so I can hear when people are walking. Like, I don't like it at all. It's the worst. So he heard something around 4:30 in the morning, but he didn't really pay it any mind. You know, he probably brushed it off like typical things that we do. He didn't get up. So as I was reading, they said that Asha, around that time when the bed creaked, that's when she got out of her bed, put on clothes. She must have had a bag already pre-packed, and she ended up getting out of her house. A motorist stated that they had seen Miss Degree walking down the highway, and they thought it was very strange that she was walking down the highway at night and a storm was slowly approaching, and he turned around trying to find her, but she ended up running into the woods. Apparently she must have gotten scared. Maybe she assumed that he was gonna try to kidnap her or what, but he later on told police that he seen Asha, and he was wondering why she was outside at this time of night. So around 5:45, Asha's sister wakes up and she doesn't see her in the bed, and she's wondering where she is. So she goes and she tells her parents that Asha is not in the bed and that she must have ran away. So the family went searching in the house trying to find her, maybe thinking she was in the garage, maybe she was just joking around, but they could not find Asha. So he ended up calling his mother, trying to figure out, well, maybe she went to her grandmother's house, and grandmother said that they did not see her, and that's when he went into complete panic mode because he did not know where his daughter was. So around 6:45 that morning, police end up coming, and that's when the search began for Asha. These dogs couldn't really pick up her scent, so it kind of went unheard of. They went around in the community to friends and families asking had they seen her. No one's seen her. So on February 15th, some of Asha's belongings were recovered. There were wrapping paper from candy, a notebook, some of her personal belongings that the family stated were her. And this all was found in the woods and in a shed type of situation. It was just reported that that was the only thing that they found of her belongings. And on February 16th, that's when there was about a really big search for a, believed after talking to the family and her mom and everyone, they believed that she planned her runaway because of the type of belongings that she took with her, like clothes, you know, a little bit of food, markers, pencils, and just things that seemed to be really pre-planned from law enforcement. Because when they were doing their investigation, because of dysfunction in the family, they assumed that she could no longer take it, so that's why she was trying to plan her escape. It's really sad when you hear about things like that, because I grew up in a dysfunctional thing, and I have, in my mind, I wanted to run away plenty of times, so I definitely can understand. The story did make national news. It was reported on a lot of the known TV websites. I said TV websites, TV shows, and other things like America's Most Wanted, Montel, things like that. Where in August 3rd of 2001, as construction workers were doing digging, this was about 26 miles from Shelby, North Carolina, they ended up finding her book bag, but it was wrapped in like a plastic bag. That was the last piece of evidence that they found of Asia, and that was back in 2001, a whole year after she went. Asia's mother complained in 2013 that her story didn't get enough coverage, and she compared it to a lot of missing white children that were missing. And I do want to say this, I don't want anyone to think that, like, the mother felt like her case did not get enough attention as other bigger cases. And I think a lot of times too is you get defeated when you realize, when you feel like no one is listening to your story, and you see that other stories are really getting big platforms and no one is paying attention. In 2015, her case was reopened by FBI, and they later found out new information pertaining to her case. Last seen getting into a green vehicle, like a Ford. I will post a picture so you guys can see. She was last seen getting into this vehicle on the night of her disappearance on the highway on that rainy night. So with her case, I honestly believe, like the FBI stated, she was going through a really rough time, probably emotionally, in her family. I mean, when you have dysfunction, anything can trigger you to make you want to just leave. And then when you're in school, they said that she was reading a book about going on a trail or finding that happiness because of the dysfunction that they were dealing with in their home. And I think that's just basically what it was. Asia was just tired of it, and she planned her runaway, but she probably met someone who she thought she could trust, and they end up probably killing her, raping and killing her. Sad to say, you know, especially back in 2000, people are sick and you're on the highway, and a lot of people take advantage of young girls. So I honestly believe that she's most likely dead, especially because her belongings were found 26 miles away in a plastic bag. So you already kind of have to put pieces together. Someone put her book bag in a plastic bag and buried it, and probably thought they would never find it. It's freaking sad, as all the other cases. So Aisha is still missing. Her body has not been found, and her family needs to know what happened to her. So I pray that one day it will. I pray that one day it will. One day her family will get the answers that they need. But like all the other cases, you just have to keep staying prayed up about them and keep giving them the exposure that they need. So guys, until the next missing person case Monday, I will see you